How to develop sickening work ethic. I think if I look back to my career over both the businesses that I've built, I was never the smartest guy, I was never the most talented guy, I was never the person who had the most history as an entrepreneur. In fact, I never even thought about having my own business until I was 23, 24. I had already been making money and I didn't even think about the business aspect. The one thing that I've always had more than others, or than many others, was the work ethic part. And someone recently said to me, like, you know, Max, every time we hang out, you talk about work. You talk about working hard and you talk about pushing the boundaries and stuff like that. Why? And I said, you know, they're like, are you doing this to brag or something? But ultimately, the only reason why, or maybe I'm doing this to brag, but a big reason why I'm doing it, because that's all I have. That's all I've ever had. I don't have anything. I don't have, at least in my opinion, I don't have anything else going for me other than the willingness to go above and beyond for what I want in life. And I kind of made that decision when I must have been 18, 19. I just got out of the army in Austria. It's mandatory in Austria. I don't think he's so cool in the army. No, it's mandatory in Austria. You have to go to army for 6 months. And I got out of it, and I had been a musician at that time. And I'm like, okay, now I got the freedom. I don't have to go to school anymore. I just finished with the army. Now I can go all out with my ultimate dream, to build a band and be able to live from that and to go on a world tour and stuff like that. It's kind of a dumb idea. I played in a heavy metal band back then with a lot of my good friends. And we had a demo put out and stuff like that, but I don't think we were good enough, but who cares? And I said to myself, you know, I would lay in bed and I'd be like, okay, Max, it's very unlikely that you and your band are going to become famous and make enough money to travel the world. It's very unlikely. The chance is probably around 1% or even lower, but it's bigger than zero. The chance is not zero. That means, Max, all you have to do is put everything on that 0.1% or however many it is, and do everything in your power, because either you get there and you guys win and you travel the world and you bring albums out and stuff like that, or you don't. But if there was a chance to get there in your life, then you gotta take it. And that was kind of like the proto version of the what if question that I've always talked about here on this channel, on the podcast, and so on and so forth. This whole, like, you don't want to end up with 80 years, 90 years lying on your deathbed thinking about what would have happened if I had done it. You want to maybe go out and fail and know, okay, I tried it and this is what happened. That's okay, but you do not want to end up saying, well, what would have happened if I had done it? That was kind of the proto version of it. And I remember back then I pulled my best friend, who was my co-guitarist, I pulled to the side. I went to get a kebab with him in Vienna. And I said, hey, you know, this is my plan. I want to do this, I want to do that. And hey, if we just do everything in our power that is possible to get there with our band, I think we can do it. We have a shot. And if not, hey, at least we know. And I was so disturbed by his response. His response was, oh man, I don't know, it's probably not going to happen. I'd rather just study geology. And it was not even that he was excited about geology, where he said, that's my dream. It was just like yeah, you know, I think it's, you know, like my parents want me to study that, and, you know, maybe I can then become a teacher for geology. Again, that was not his dream. It was just like this lame plan C, not even plan B, plan C that he had. And I was so blown away. I'm like, why wouldn't you put everything in your power to fulfill your dream? Because his dream was exactly the same as mine, to be able to travel the world and be a musician. In fact, he was a much better musician than me in the first place. Like, how would you already give up before he even goddamn start? I was so blown away by that, by the cynicism, by the negativity, by the lack of urgency. He was so okay with being mediocre. It broke my heart. It literally broke my heart, and maybe I turned it into bitterness, but out of that bitterness I said, I'm gonna be the guy who out hustles everybody. When guys like him are giving up and being okay with mediocrity, I'm not going to be okay with mediocrity. I'm going to put everything I can on that, and to get back to that idea, like that's all I've ever had, and that's all I will ever have. Go take everything away from me. In fact, I will probably feel more comfortable on a weird side than I am right now at the bottom with nothing. Like take all the money away from me, take all the followers away from my first business, take all the followers away from my second business, from this channel, take my team away, take my mentors away. I would probably feel comfortable and confident as hell at the bottom, moving back to Austria, living in my goddamn room where I grew up as a child in Austria, and asking my mom for food. I would feel comfortable doing that at the very bottom, because I said back to the very source, the very root of just sickening work ethic. That at the bottom is where I feel most comfortable, where most people freak out. That's why I say let's go. And I think getting there, I think a lot of people who made a certain amount of money, they share that feeling of like that confidence, that calmness of like, oh, I can do it again, because I've learned things about basic marketing, basic sales, how to resonate with people, how to understand people, like the human side. You can never take that away from me unless I get hit by a baseball bat and that area of my brain gets damaged or something. But I have that, and that's all I've ever had. And that's all this business is. It's just work ethic. It's certainly not giftedness, if that's even a word. It's literally just work ethic. I outwork anybody. If I really want some, I outwork them. I don't care. I can put my own needs, physical needs and emotional needs and spiritual needs, I can put them so far back on the priority list, more back than anybody else, that I set that goal I'm getting obsessed over and that I reach that. And this has been throughout my career, has been difficult whenever I would collaborate with somebody or have somebody in my team who wouldn't share that obsession. And that's also why, for example, when I hire someone, we literally sift out 99% of people that want to work in my team because they don't share that obsession. Literally everybody in my team works in my team because they're obsessed about their work. It's completely normal for us to not go home when we're done. And I see that because we're working together in the same space, and I'm like, hey, everybody was supposed to leave an hour ago and nobody left. It's like sometimes I have to kick them out. I'm like, go home, go take some time off. And that's a cool thing, I think. And that's also, by the way, why we have a very high sift out rate for people who want to become our clients. If we see that our clients are dabbling or they're whack, if we see a shred of goddamn whackness, instantly out. I don't care how much these people offer us. We literally do this on a daily basis. And then I get angry messages, but people are like, I was willing to spend money. What kind of business person are you? I literally get this all the time. I literally get comments where people are like, man, you're in bad word, so-and-so, because I was willing to spend money and you didn't let me into the program. If we don't feel like they're genuine about what they want to build, if we don't see any sign that they want to build something legit, long-lasting, we don't have them get into a program, because I don't want to waste my time with these people. It's that simple. So I think a big part also of developing work ethic is developing personal boundaries. And I've had that yesterday on a client call. The client says, how do I communicate to my mom if she says it's not going to work? How do I communicate to my family if they want to shame me because I want to spend less time with them on the holidays and work harder? How do I communicate this? How do I communicate that? And it's less about how, it's about what are your personal boundaries? Stop being influenced so much by others. And the crazy thing is, who are the people that we're being influenced from usually? Again, I'm biased here, and this is only from the perspective of building a business, okay? If you want to build a business, you're watching this and maybe if you're watching this still, then you're probably playing with the thought of building your own business. Now, who are the people around you that you're being influenced with? Are these people who have their own successful businesses? Very, very rarely. Usually you're being influenced by your parents, and it's very likely, statistically speaking, that your parents have a 9-to-5 job, they're employed somewhere. So they're not going to be on your side when you want to build your own business, which is their right. They don't have an experience, and in their experience it's probably something unsafe and they want to keep you from that. Who else is having an influence on you? Most likely your teachers. Teachers by default don't have a business, otherwise they wouldn't be a teacher at school. Unlikely. some of them may have a side hustle, but unlikely. They're literally the epitome of a 9-to-5 worker, of a drone, a teacher, right? So you basically imagine, instead of, how many teachers do you have at school? How many teachers do you 8? I don't know. How many different teachers? Let's say you have 10. But let's imagine, like, you're at school, you probably have an average of 10 teachers per semester, 10 different teachers for different subjects. Imagine you have 10 business owners that teach you every day. How cool would that be? How different would your mindset be? 10 successful business owners would teach you, right? Your mindset would be completely different. If your parents were business owners, online business owners, if they would be doing something similar, your mindset would be completely different. And but it's unlikely that that's the case. So of course we're struggling with mindset, and that's also why I always say none of our programs is a magic pill, because it depends on where you come from. If you come to us and you have a very bad mindset of like money is evil, asking for money is evil, reaching out to people is equal spamming, and so on and so forth, then yeah, you're gonna have much harder time, and it's gonna take you much longer to get results even with our program. Most likely we're not even gonna let you in our program. But if you come into our program and you kind of think in win-win, oh, if I sell something to somebody, they win and I win. They win because they get my beautiful expertise. I win because I get their money, and I can pour that money back into my business. I can grow it more, and I can help more people. It's a win-win-win for everybody. If you come to us with a mindset like that, you'll be much more likely to succeed. And you know, it's a beautiful, to get back to that feeling of being fully self-reliant and knowing that you could do that with the proper help and with the proper guidance, but even without, you'd be fine. It's a very calming feeling. You don't have to worry about the economy. You don't have to worry about the political situation, because you're not dependent on some government bailout. You're not dependent on the economy doing well. You create your own life. There's this motivational video I used to watch back in 2013 or before, must have been 2011, 2012. And in there it said, life is a blank canvas and you're the painter. And man, I must have watched this YouTube video 200 times or something. It's like a motivational video, and it's really good. And looking back to where I came from and what I've endured and what I've been through, it inspires me myself. It's very narcissistic, probably, like inspiring myself. But looking at my first world tour, where I was literally not even getting paid yet. I was just touring, and I had holes in my shoes. And we're literally recording this in the lobby of my home office. Like, I wouldn't even have a goddamn couch to sleep on. When I was on tour and I had a couch where I could sleep on, that was an upgrade. That was like celebratory, like, oh my God. Usually it was literally the floor, or I had to share a bed with my videographer, who back then traveled with me, like another guy. And that was not nice. And now thinking back to, like, we have these great offices. I have team members that are crushing it, and so much of the work that I used to do every single piece of work that I have someone hired for myself. I used to do the Instagram posts, the edits myself. I used to do the management myself. I used to do the sales myself. I used to do videos myself. I used to do video editing myself. I used to do the assistant myself. I used to do all the finances myself. I used to do every single task myself, and now I just have a person doing that for me. And you know, in all honesty, sometimes I wrap up a hustle day. It's like midnight or something like that, and I'm like closing my laptop, and I'm just sitting there in the office alone. Everybody left, and I'm like, I come so far, and that's such a beautiful thing. And if you had given me all, you know, the nice place and the watches and the traveling, if you had given me that, if I had won that somewhere, I wouldn't appreciate the hell out of it. And it's such a typical thing to say, but like, if I had won a couple million at the lottery, I would be much more miserable than I am right now. I'd rather make the same amount of money with hard work, blood, sweat, tears, than being given that, because I can appreciate it so much more. I see the value of it so much more, because I know from every single $100,000 amount that I just have on my bank account, just like being dumped, I'm like, I know where it comes from. It's not given to me. I know it comes from years of me sitting in front of my Microsoft laptop that could barely play YouTube. When I opened a YouTube video, like the laptop would like start going like you would hear the fan going up, and I had to plug it in because otherwise it would die of power. The power would die, and it comes from there. It comes from me being awake at night, mostly because I was jet lagged, but also because I was worried about my future, and it comes from all the self-doubt and all the fights I fought and all the people that posted on me on the internet, and all the people who badmouthed me, and from all the friends who turned their back on me just to say like, oh, I know Max, I met him and I talked to him, and he's not as cool as you think and stuff like that. You know what? Screw you guys, because most of you now, first of all, you're not my real friends, and I know that now, and second of all, most of you are miserable now because I see that. And hey, and most of you actually came back to me once I succeeded and acted like you're all friends, like you never talked badly behind my back. And you know what? That's cool with me. I'm fine with that, because it comes from insecurity, and you probably didn't mean it, you know. So ultimately, I don't know, to answer the question, how to develop sickening work ethic, put yourself in a position where you don't have another choice. And for me, it was like that. And I have that a lot, where clients come to me and they say, oh, Max, I'm just too comfortable. I'm just too comfortable. What do I do? Should I give my money away? No, don't give your money away. This is a mind frame that you can get yourself in. I had no other choice. What was my plan B? Give up? My plan B would have literally been go back to the army, sign up for going down to Kosovo, where you get like 4 or 5K a month by being there, and you're like in this like military base, and I'm like, dude, getting 4 or 5K to sit around in the military base, and Austria is not involved in any war, so it's not even that dangerous. So that was literally my plan B, and that was a bad plan B. So I put myself basically in a position where I said, I either succeed or I die. And that was fine with me, and that doesn't mean you have to burn the boats. Don't be silly. Don't quit your job or something like that. I never recommend you that. In fact, I always recommend my clients to go down a safer route and only quit their job once they're making more money from their business than from their job. Once they're doing that consistently, then they can quit. I recently talked to Ivan Votipka, and he did that. He's just been making consistently 9K a month until he cracked the 10K a month, and now he said he's going to quit his job, which is nice. You know, imagine you make 10K a month on the side and then you quit your job. That's a safe way to do, but the way I did it was the stupider or more extreme version. I just said, I either go make it or I die, and I put myself into that situation where I have to succeed, where there is literally no alternative. What's the alternative? What's the alternative? Mediocrity, sucking, you know, sucking at life. And I know my friend who refused to give it all for our band. I haven't really talked to him in like 10 years, but I've heard from mutual friends that he hates his life. He's in the same village, he has some random BS job that he doesn't enjoy, and he's not making enough money for the type of lifestyle he'd like to have. Yeah, that's what you get. You made that decision very, very early on to be mediocre, and that's what you get. Sorry. You can still change if you want, but the chance is that if after 10 years of wallowing in mediocrity and being lazy instead of stepping up, it's probably going to be very hard for you to step up now. So sorry about that. If you haven't done so yet, by the way, check out our podcast. It's a very interesting podcast that my business partner Nikita Gunkovic and me have created. If you feel like the YouTube stuff is a little bit too surface level, you can dive very, very deep on the podcast. It's always in value bits. Podcast episodes are like 10, 20 minutes. So it's very, very good for you to listen in, and it goes much deeper. It's very entertaining, I've been told, and it's also very informative. So strongly recommend you doing that. So ultimately, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you want to do in your life? And I want you to go with no compromises. Don't ask yourself what is it that you could be doing, realistically speaking, because chances are high that you've probably been beaten up by your teachers, not physically, but verbally or emotionally by your teachers and by your immediate environment to make you think that you are inadequate, to make you think that you should shut up and go get some job because you're not good enough for anything else. I've certainly had that happen to me many times. I've also had teachers who said, like, Max, you're such a weird person, you probably do something cooler. I've had that as well, I want to be honest here. But when I say find what you want to be doing in life, Find what you really want to be doing in life. Don't try to go for what you think is realistic. Try to go for something that intimidates you, something that makes you shake your head, something that you want to dismiss right away in terms of like, oh no, I'm not going to be that person. Go for that. Go for that thing that is so far out of your reality, because it certainly was for me. Just the fact that I'm not even talking about the millions. That wasn't even in my reality. My biggest wish that was so far out there was I'd be able to be my own boss and travel and be able to just go wherever I want and live wherever I want. Like, that was for me the unreal ultimate goal that I could have never ever imagined. But I said, if there's a 1% chance or 0.1% chance to get there, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna do everything in my power to get there. And that's what I did, and that's what you should do. And it ultimately got me here. And now I'm 30 years old, I've reached all the goals that I've wanted to reach, and it's now on me to create new goals, to forge new goals for myself that seem equally as far out of my reality. And I want to get there. And what I do then is, I'll do everything in my power to get there. I will literally say, I either make this happen or I die trying, and then I will succeed. That's a beautiful thing to know that you'll succeed no matter what, because I've done it before with my first business, and I've done it again with my second business. And that's, I think, the most confident position that you can be in. My confidence isn't telling me I'm gonna win everything and everything I touch is turning into gold. My confidence says, regardless of how many times I lose, I will win eventually, because I have the consistency to put things in. All the things that need to be taken, all the things that need to be done, I will do that, because I'm hella goddamn consistent. So, thank you very much for watching. How long was that video?
22 minutes.
22 minutes, a little bit of a ranty video. Hey, if you want me to help you build your own business, even if you're completely lost, you have never done that before, maybe you feel a little uncomfortable doing that. If you want my help, then book a free consultation call with us. There's a link down in the description below. You click on that. It brings you to a page. You can read through that page. There's more info on that. And at the bottom of that page, you fill out the application. Hey, if you can't read through the page for 10 minutes, if you can't focus to read through that page, you're instantly not qualified. All right, and then that's no problem. Then I don't have to work with you. Then you can be happy with mediocrity, and I can be happy not having to work with you. But if you do, at the bottom of that page, there's an application. You fill that out, takes you 2 minutes. Then you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you. Call is entirely for free. There's no hidden international costs. And most importantly, on that call, I'm not going to be sharing with you some generalized mainstream BS. We're only going to be talking about implementable steps that you can implement in your specific situation. So like I said, link down in the description below. Maybe talk to you very, very soon. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And bye-bye.
The last 3 months, we have been consistently over 10K. So 5 figures is the new normal. We closed 40,000 euros since September. Yeah, now we are at the point where I have a very solid business, a consistent cash flow. And yeah, we started delegating some stuff. We started running ads. It's a perfect life, to be honest. It's the best job or the best lifestyle you can have. It's also possible for you.